So I'm going to go through this two-column static page layout, and I'm going to update it to HTML5. And so I'm going to start with, I've opened it up in Notepad++, and here's my file. I've already changed the doc type, and I'm going to go through this document and clean it up so it's HTML5 compliant, and it's going to simplify it a lot. Now what you can do is keep referring to, let's go back, this page here. It's the reference page, because here you can go through, you can see everything that's new is highlighted for HTML5. And if you need to look it up, so for instance doc type, I looked it up and this is what I had before, and this is all I need now. One simple line right there. So I just copied that and I went to Notepad++ and I got rid of all the other stuff and I just pasted it in there. So now I'm going to actually go through my document and look and see what I need to change. This stays the same. Head is still the same because that's the title. It doesn't show up on your page, but it's necessary. HTML, you want that again, an opening HTML at the bottom. I have a closing HTML. You still need the body because everything in that is the content. So I have an opening body, and down here I have a closing body. But now this is where we start cleaning it up. I don't need to use divs anymore, and I'm not going to use a container. This is now called a section, and I can get rid of all this in front of it. That's a lot simpler, isn't it? But now I need to find, well, where was the bottom of here? I can, using Notepad++, I love it. It's everything in red was referring to that previous div, but now it's a section. So instead, now I can go down here and I can close that section instead of the div. Alright, so that's changed. And now I need to clean up the top bar. Now I think in my About Me page, let me look, the top bar was actually it was really this top, which is really a header. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change that. It's not really a top bar, that is a header. And I need to find the close of that, so I'm going to go back. See, I just follow that red line. It's close header. Still an H1, so I can style it later. Let me move this down so I can see. Here's another div I can get rid of. No longer do I need to identify that menu on the left. I can just call it nav. And now I'm going to go here. I'm going to close the nav. And now what's inside this? This is where I need to go and refer. I don't need to be using divs or tables, because essentially this is an unordered list. Well, it's not a table, but it's an unordered list. We can simplify that as well, and this is where it's handy to go to this list. So I'm going to go to nav, and I'm going to see how they simplified it. LMNOP right there, nav. See how simple this is? You can actually just copy that for now because it's a reference, and what I do is I'll put it down here just for now so I can see how they laid it out or set it up. Move it over. So essentially this is what I'm going to aim for rather than all this up here. So I've changed the holder, the nav holder, and I can get rid of all that. Let's do that, and I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to bring that over. I'm going to bring this over. Well, let's go back there. And I only have three pages. I don't need those. Clean that up. And I just, let's see, I don't need the list, so I can get rid of that. Very simple. Let's do that. And what else do we need to get rid of? We need to get the closing list. We don't need the lists anymore. And see how HTML5 has really simplified things. And let's make sure we have everything. I think we have, yeah, they have 4 pages, so that's why it looks like. Now I can get rid of that sample. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to bring that up, and let's just save this. And we'll take a peek. So let's run, and we're going to launch in Chrome. Now it doesn't look the way it did before. See how I had it nice laid out? Now why do you think that might be? because we've changed what the styling is pointing to, the CSS files. We'll get to that. I'm kind of happy that we're cleaning it up, making it HTML compliant, and I'm going to continue, and I'm going to go now. Main bar is another one. Main bar now is referring to this section right here. It's not a bar at all, it's the article. So we're going to change the main bar to the article, and article is just, again, one word, article, and close the article. So I'll follow the red line where it closes, help, and close article. Did I spell it wrong? I did. See, you got to be careful. There we go, article. And now I can, okay, so I have my section article, and what else do I have with divs? I got to get rid of my, I'm going to close it. Footer doesn't need to be in a div. Nothing needs to be in a div, but footer is a new HTML on its own. So let's just say footer, and instead of close div, we close the footer. There we go, footer. And here, you know what I forgot to do in the past? I need to identify what kind of, I'm going to make this footer H2 when I style it, so I need to close that, and H2 there. Alright, so I have no divs left. I've got cleaned up, renamed the parts, the elements to the new HTML5, and I'm going to save that, and let's run and look at it. There, it's not very pretty, but we'll get to that in CSS3. So what I'd like you to do is go through all your pages and do the same thing. We need to clean this mess up, and look at how simple this is, and that isn't. And then in the next part, we'll start styling them.